The saga continues. PAI Capital have reiterated their interest in buying West Ham and have claimed that they have reached an agreement with the London Legacy Development Corporation over the future of the London Stadium. Welcome back to West Ham Irons United. Of course, I'm Anton, joined by Stel, another late one for us, Stel. But just tell everyone what you were saying to me beforehand, where you're at with it all. You're just feeling what?
Absolutely fatigued by it all. I'm bored with it because you know, all these statements that are coming out. It's really quite intriguing that all these people involved in the PAI consortium have spoken about it. They don't want to wash their dirty laundry out in public, and yet everything that's happening is happening on social media.
Yep.
And it's a bit shocking. It's a bit worrying. It's I don't know, and clearly we know that people hate the board. We know that people want the board out and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not going to sort of say, you know, be careful what you wish for, etc., because it's too easy to say. But it's the way it's being conducted is a concern. But then they've got a legend, haven't they? They've got a West Ham legend. No,
Yeah.
no. Let me rephrase. They've got a United legend on board. Just happens to be a Man United legend rather than a West Ham legend on board. And I just think it's all a bit odd. I won't lie. You
we all
know,
know about Philip Baird. I mean, I'm not going to go too in depth about it, and we'll probably have to be talking about this for some time to come. We won't do it every single show, but you know, he's a public face of the consortium, and he's been criticising Sullivan and Gold for not entering into constructive and realistic negotiations over a sale. Over the initial approach, which was made back in February. I'm going to read the statement out in a second. However, they have apparently enlisted, like you said, still Rio Ferdinand and his brother Anton Ferdinand as well, that are both heavily involved. On top of that, you've got the so-called...
heavily involved. We don't know that.
Well, I'll read the statement out.
How heavily? Okay.
And we'll talk about
I've seen the bit from Rio at the bottom.
Yeah,
of that
we'll talk.
Yeah,
yeah,
go on.
And then of course the so-called new West Ham fan. His name, excuse my pronunciation, is Nasib Piriev, who apparently became a West Ham fan, an England fan back in 1986. So take from that what you want. However, let's just get into the statement still. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. PAI Capital did say yesterday that they would have, or whenever it was via social media platforms, that they would have released a statement yesterday, but that was delayed apparently. And it came out today instead. I mean, the biggest thing is, and we were in a chat earlier on and someone pinpointed the fact that it never came out on any kind of headed paper. It never came out on it. It just looks like it's been typed up by what you could call as a random associate, according to the Hammers News interview. But anyway, the 5th of August, PAI Capital can confirm that we have reached the core principles of agreement with the LLDC regarding a long-term lease over the London Stadium that would see PAI taking full control of the stadium. This would be on condition of PAI successfully concluding a deal for majority control with the current owners of West Ham United. So we stop here and just quickly digress that, or keep going?
Yeah, no. Well, so you know, it'd be nice to know how long this lease is. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. We've got a lease for 99 years, of which we've still got 94 years to go. So is it going to cover the whole for 94 years, or what? How long? So be nice to know exactly how long this long-term lease is. But and I know we're going to get to it in a minute. This is a public. This is a public ground. This is public, owned by the mayor. And my understanding is, and do correct me if I'm wrong, is when a public property is put up, is made available, it's meant to go for some kind of bidding, auction, that sort of thing. You don't just turn up and go, "Hi, I'd like to buy this public building, please." You know, it doesn't work that way. So
I think the other part of the statement as well is this would be on a condition of PAI successfully concluding a deal for majority control with the current owners of West Ham.
Right. Well, let's just stop there. We keep being told that the board aren't interested in selling. We have been told, and it's no ITK thing. We have been told that the board are interested in selling a number of shares in order for investment to be made in the club. That's what Sullivan and Golder have been talking about, that they like to pump investment into the club. And by doing that, they'll sell a portion of shares. Doesn't mean that they'll give away ownership, who the decision making. And that's how, I can't remember his name. Is it Todd Smith or someone like that, the American owner? The American
we should know this by now because we've talked about him in the past couple of days.
But he's got a 10% stake in the club, and West Ham have been talking about selling a stake in the club. That's quite different from selling the club, but they're not interested. So where does this leave this? This is all pressure. Trip Smith, that's him, not Todd Smith. Trip Smith. This is classic. It's business. It begins to sound like they're going to try and make a hostile takeover. When you start putting on the pressure on owners of a company that you want to take them over, you start building up the pressure on them. And if the board turn around and go, thank you, but no thank you, this stops right here. Doesn't matter what agreement they've got with LLDC. But yeah, carry on, mate.
Yeah, let's get on to the next part of the statement. Second paragraph. The stadium needs to be a home of which the club and its fans can be proud. I completely agree. The bowling has gone. Times move on, and with the right adjustments and under single ownership, we believe that the stadium can meet the needs of fans, old and new. It will require changes to the configuration within the stadium itself, as well as extended facilities for fans in and around the ground that will significantly improve the matchday experience. Right. Now, listen, I'm going to stop here, but yeah. So on that one statement there, what I would be wanting to see is, and because we're not going to make the same mistake we made the last time still, is what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And do you have the finances to do it? Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks, Reese. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. So yeah, what do you make of that second paragraph?
Well, easy, because those plans to change the stadium are already being done. They've already changed, reconfigured the Bobby Moore lower and the Trevor Brooking lower, or the Trevor Brooking stands, which makes it more aligned with a traditional type stadium. There are already talks, well before PAI came here. There are already talks about looking at the Billy Bonds stand, how they might be able to level that off and try and bring it closer. And there are already talks with the ISC, of which Hammers United are part of, about trying to get LLDC to, or whoever owns that part of the land, to allow local traders or people who were local traders back at Green Street in order to come and do their trade here. So this is stuff that's already in the pipeline.
But you couldn't help but think that statement would allude to the fact that it's not just what you've just mentioned there. It's alluding to the fact that there's going to be a full-blown restructure of the stadium, that like maybe a dig into the ground and change No, I know. Sorry, it's not dig down. It's the original plan, which was the seating to be moved and in and out, because that company then went bust and we couldn't continue with that. So we've got the temporary scaffolding that takes so long to take in and out. But they allude to the fact in that it's more than what you've said. That's the alluding part of the statement.
There's no detail. Yeah. There's absolutely no detail. So what they should be doing is they shouldn't be putting out bland statements. What all they're trying to do is trying to win fans over. They're trying to get the fans to go, see, GSB should have done all this from day one, well before we moved in, etc., etc. And what they're doing is they're pandering to those fans who are upset because it's not a football stadium.
Yeah.
And all they're doing, that's all they're doing. What are the changes? It's all very well saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that. What are the details? At this point, if they're really, really serious about buying the stadium and not buying the stadium, getting the stadium on the lease and buying the club, then give us some meat on the bone. because at the moment there's no meat on the bone at all.
And I think also about the whole kind of getting the stadium on a lease. You know, we are always led to believe, and sometimes we lead to believe, maybe we come up with the answer ourselves, but we thought that, you know, maybe there's an option to buy the stadium outright.
But it's not.
But it's obviously not. It's obviously not an option, because if these guys are coming in and going, thanks for that, enough. We're going to lease the stadium. That's a concerning thing as well. Anyway, let's move on in the rest of the statement. As things stand, divergent interests prevent the stadium from reaching its full potential, despite its attracting the biggest events in sport and entertainment. The current arrangement between the stadium owners and the club limit opportunities to integrate the club and the stadium into the Olympic Park as a whole. Our vision is for the club's interests and activities to be integrated with these of the entire park. Friends and families coming to watch men's, women's, or academies matches should be able to enjoy everything in the area has to offer, instead of being shuffled from station to seat and back again. And do you know what? I mean, this is probably, you know, I do agree with the sentiment. I think we all have, to be honest. It makes sense. There's just no detail behind it. There's just no detail behind it. It's good.
No
Me and
detail,
you could say that. Me and you could say that.
But it is a sensible thing to turn around and say, if what I'm understanding what they're trying to say is that they would either play women's football and under 23s football in the stadium, maybe. Great, that's okay. But then we already know how expensive it is to run that stadium on match day. So are they really going to run women's football with the greatest of respect to women's football? They don't get the crowds that you would at men's football. With the greatest of respect to the under 23s football, they don't get the crowds that you would get at, you know, senior squad level football. So are they suggesting that they're going to open the stadium up and run it at a loss, you know, for those games? What business sense is there in that? You know, I get it, I understand it. Why play wherever it is? I think is it Rush Green or
yeah,
what, you know, that's training. But why play in other stadiums when you've got that one available? Fair enough. That makes sense. But at the same time, the logistics would suggest that it will probably cost an awful lot more money to run that big stadium for under 23 games and ladies football games, rather than just keeping it available as it stands. I dare say the club must have looked at that and gone, ladies football, under 23s football. Okay, stadium owners, what's it going to cost us to run that? And they've probably given them a price, and they've gone, it's better to go and do it where we're doing it at the moment.
And just very quickly, then, a question to you then still would be, if these were similar owners to, say, the Man City owners, you know, who've put their money where their mouth is and changed the things and done I suppose the difference between Man City and West Ham was they were involved. They had the stadium before the Commonwealth Games were given to them, so they configured the stadium in the right way that they could quickly transform it into a football stadium. Difference. But what they have done, if you do go to the Manchester City Stadium, what they have got is everything that we don't have on the lead up to the stadium. They do have the facility. It's I can't remember if they call it the City Park. So it is like that, you know, there's things to do, and you can do it all day.
Yeah, they've had an influence from day one.
Yeah.
Whereas we already know that the error made, that the current board saw an opportunity to save a shitload of money, you know, by going to the stadium on almost a peppercorn rate. And they didn't negotiate as hard as maybe they should have done. But then we had that we were hamstrung by the Olympic legacy. They wanted to keep athletics there. They wanted to keep it there. So these PAI are not only going to have a conversation with LLDC. They're going to have to. There's a legacy of it as well. You know. Athletics want to continue being there. What are they going to do with that? They're going to buy them out. They're going to move them on. They're going to tell them, now we have leasehold of the stadium. You're not going to be invited. Where does the Olympic legacy go? You know, the athletics legacy go? That's another thing that our current owners. I'm not making excuses for our current owners, but that's another thing for our current owners were hamstrung by. They were told, if you want to come to this stadium, this is what you need to. This is the what
rules and regulations you need to follow, criteria.
So do all those go out the window? You know. Anyway, I like Tommy's comment here. Their statements haven't endeared him to Sullivan. He can't be happy with their strategy. He may be, you know, now he will totally refuse to sell, which is a good point.
Absolutely. Sorry. Let's jump on to the next part. The agreement in principle has been developed with input from some of the most experienced people in the sport and entertainment space. At this stage, it rightly focuses on the outline plans for purchasing the club, then the stadium. But we also believe that further discussions can explore how the club can best contribute to enhance and maximise usage of the park, both for the benefit of the club and for the wider East London community.
So what they're really saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, what they're really saying is we want to buy the land, or we want to lease the land for a long for the long term, and really, make as
Ramp it
much
up.
use, ramp it up, as much use of it as we want. How's that going to benefit West Ham? They might decide to do something completely different that
yeah.
have no influence on football.
Well,
So is that a good
being devil's advocate slightly to that, if that was a place where people were drawn to a lot more than what they are, then things like the club shop and tourism and picking up a top and picking up a t-shirt and walking away and going back to a different country, you may pick up more fan base that way, and slowly but surely things, for me, we did miss a trick. We did miss a trick from the after the Olympics. You couldn't get anywhere near the stadium for after the Olympics finished in 2012. I think it was 3 or 4 years before you were allowed to even remotely enter the vicinity of the Olympic area, the stadium. And I correct me if I'm wrong here. I think there was some test events, which was 6 or 7 months before the stadium actually opened for West Ham, and that was the first time people were allowed inside the stadium. And you're talking about, it was like 4 or 5 years after the Olympics had gone, where in other countries around the world they open up that legacy. Like, there was an opportunity there that everyone really missed, and then by that point the legacy kind of disappeared, and people kind of not forgot about it, but they never maximized the opportunity. And I like anyone that would want to come in and develop that area and make it more of a fun place to go. Imagine just me coming down there with the kids, and the missus and the kids could hang about. It'd be a fun, full-blown event. I know they're trying their best in and around the concourse just out the stadium, but
it makes sense. It makes sense. And don't you honestly think that if West Ham had more of a say in what goes on around the vicinity of that area, they'd want to make that sort of money as well? The current owners, I dare say they probably would. But it's quite interesting what LLDC are doing. All of a sudden, their stance has changed completely, that they just seem to be, maybe because they are losing money hand over fist, and they haven't made the most of it. They haven't enhanced it themselves. So maybe it does take a business mind to get to enhance the whole area. And I get that. I guess if there's anything that's decent about that statement, it's that it's about developing it, making it more sort of more attractive for more a bigger audience to come to that area. The only thing is, we already complain about having too many tourists at the stadium. So what does that mean? Does everyone who turns up and plays around, in the vicinity, get a free ticket to go in to watch the game, or what? I mean, I don't know. I don't see how that benefits West Ham. That's a business decision based on the land around it. That isn't too much of a business decision based on, improving the club.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look at the second part of the statement. This is where they start to go into comments made by people that are involved. Philip Baird of PAI states, in summary, we are pursuing an ambitious and complex deal. There's been so much controversy and contention over the past few years. We genuinely believe that the club, stadium and park will thrive when the stakeholders are all pulling in the same direction. The only thing holding us back for now is the reluctance of the club's owners to engage in constructive and realistic negotiations. We believe they are willing to sell and hope we can make progress in the coming weeks. Well, so we're led to believe that Sullivan Gold are not going to sell.
We keep being told.
I keep saying that, I suppose we can't ever really say that for sure, because if someone comes in and offers them something that gets them out and it's a crazy, stupid offer, then that would be the only thing that would do it. But this consortium make you believe that they can do that.
Well,
let's put the money where the mouth is.
Let's look at the offer and let's see where the money's coming from. They have apparently offered 400 million, and we believe that the board reckon that the club is worth 650 million. So they're already 250 million pounds short. On top of that, before 2023, they've got a 20% tax liability. So if they sold for 400 million, they'd already lose 80 million of that in tax. They're not going to do that. So if they believe that the club is worth 600 million, let's say 600 million, that means in order to make sure that they get 600 million, that means that this consortium would have to pay something like near 800 million in order to pay their tax bill. They're not going to double their offer. And the second part is, where is the money coming from? Is it coming from this owner? Can't pronounce his name, forgive me, Nazib. Is it coming from his own pocket as like personal wealth, or is it coming from the investment company? Because it's the investment company that have made the bid. It's PAI Capital. PAI Capital invest other people's money to make money. And if we think, and all the shit that we the board get about they're only in it for the money, they're only in it for the money. If we think that this lot are going to do it out of the goodness of their hearts, because all of a sudden Nazib, naive, let's call him naive, has made all of a sudden became a West Ham fan in 1986. Periev. Then people are just like absolute. I don't want to call people deluded, but goodness me, if they really think that this businessman is coming in for the goodness of West Ham United, then sorry people. If you think this current bunch of owners are money grabbing, wait and see what happens when the investors start going, where's our money back? We want to make money out of this. Why are you not giving us any return on our investment? And then the club, and then the new owners will go, sorry, West Ham, we don't have any money for players. We don't have any money to improve the stadium. We don't have any money to do this. And now I know we promised it, but it will happen. It might not happen now. It might happen in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. We're in that boat now. So, why have new owners who are going to do the same? Where is the money coming from? Seriously. And what offer are they making? If the board believe that the club is worth £600 million, then they want to walk away with 600 mil. That means PAI Capital are going to have to give them 600 mil and pay their tax bill on top.
Yep. Let's look at the rest of the statement. Nasib Periev of PAI adds, we do not underestimate the challenge nor the importance of running a football club. We have an experienced, dedicated team in place for this aspect, with ambassadors of the club playing a key role to ensure that we stay true to the claret and blue traditions. We cannot recreate Fortress Upton Park at the London Stadium, but we can make significant improvements to the configuration, the catering and hospitality, and the transition from station to stadium for the fans. Moreover, we intend to stay loyal to the core values of the club. To that end, we are delighted that the likes of Rio Ferdinand have agreed to be involved. Before we move on, let me just get to the Rio Ferdinand statement. He confirmed his commitment to the project. We love this club with a passion. Both Anton and I are really happy that PAI want to come in and help improve the experience for fans. And I'm delighted that they've asked us to play a big part in the club if their bid succeeds. Obviously, we know what this club means to the community and how much the fans want to continue to see homegrown talent come through into the first team. It'd be an honour to be able to give something back to a club that means so much to me, Anton, and our family.
Means so much to me. It means so much to me, Rio, Man United, Ferdinand, who throughout the summer suggested that Declan Rice should go and play for Man United. Means so much to him that he's saying publicly, our best player should go and play for another club. And who said many a time on his social media channels how much he loved Man United. So what exactly does it mean to him? I mean, when it comes to social media own goals, Tom Skinner and now Rio Ferdinand, I mean, really, come on, I mean, I'm a bit flummoxed by it.
Let me just get it all out on the table. To throw more matters into the mix, to add a little bit more ingredients to it. This young lady spoke out today, Lynn Garner, who's the chief executive of the LLDC. We have a clear responsibility to explore all opportunities to ensure the best possible outcome for the public and taxpayer from the Olympic legacy, and are keen to work with West Ham United to reduce the cost of the stadium to the taxpayer. We've been approached by PAI Capital, who we understand are putting together a serious offer to purchase the controlling interest at West Ham United. On this basis, we have entered into discussions with PAI Capital on a set of principles that, if adopted, would see PAI Capital owning the stadium on a long leasehold should they reach agreement with the current owners of West Ham United and take a controlling interest in the club. The LLDC has always been open to discussions with potentially interested parties, including the current owners of West Ham, as well as any credible possible investors into the park, and this remains the case. What do you think of that?
Public property. Where's the bid? Where's the tender document? How did PAI win this right to buy or long lease it? Where's the due diligence in that approach? I'm not saying that, I'm no expert. I'm not an expert, but my understanding is if you're selling a public building, or if you're making it available, it's got to go out for some kind of tender. I could be
Mm.
wrong, so please correct me if I am wrong. But where is it? How come? But it's interesting that they, in their statement they said, "Oh, we've been, we talked to other parties, including West Ham." So clearly they've been talking to West Ham in the past about
Yep.
maybe leasing out the stadium, and we keep being tough. We can see it. It's losing money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Why would any businessman want to take over the leasehold of of a massively failing business? And West Ham are sitting pretty. They got a 99-year lease. They don't have to go anywhere. Peppercorn rent. I mean, it is pittance, isn't it? 2 million
Yep.
or 2.5 million a year, whatever
With
it
all
is.
the security, the police
Your,
covered,
your
of course,
yeah.
hospitality covered.
So basically, PAI are talking about taking all of that on. They're talking about taking on everything that's involved in running that stadium at a
And
loss,
the park.
and the park. What are they going
So
to? It sounds to me, when sometimes you don't really want to believe everything that Sullivan says, but it sounds to me it is a property deal. They
yeah,
want to get the land.
yeah.
They want to get
But
the
that's the
land.
part that confuses me the most is they want the land, but do they want the lease on the land, or do they want to take the lease because it's the cheapest option just now, knowing that the land, the company, the LLDC, the landlords will not want it back, and then they will officially own it over a specific amount of time? I don't know. I mean, does this new lease, whatever this new lease looks like you said, Stella, are they looking at taking over the rest of the 94-year lease, or are they going to try and lease it at
Well,
like 20 years? Or
there's a difference. The 94-year lease is for West Ham to be able to use the stadium. It's different.
yeah,
So they're talking about leasing the stadium, so I don't understand. So basically, they will become the landlords of West Ham United Football Club.
yeah,
That's the difference. So
yeah.
so unless they are able to then go in and change the terms of the 94-year lease that West Ham have got, then I don't know how it's going to make money. Everyone says that we're paying little money. So what would they do? Would they take over the lease and then want to renegotiate the lease that West Ham have got for using the stadium? That might be an option.
Mm,
They may become landlords, and they may be able to come. They might turn out to be bastard landlords if the club don't sell the club to them. They might sort of want to sort of try and push us out in some way, or I don't know. I think it
yep.
does sound to me they're more interested in the land than they are in
The club.
the club. Yeah, it does sound that to me.
What I'm gonna suggest now is myself and Stella are just gonna go through the comments. Get your comments in now and start letting us know your opinion. I can imagine you have. I'm gonna go as far up to the top as I possibly can. We're gonna work our way through the comments. We've kind of given you all the information. We've dissected the statement that's come out from PAI. We've dissected the statement that's come out from LLDC. We've given you our opinion on it, and so we'll come on to see what you guys are going to say as well. And Danny Stevens, it's all for the property, not for the club. Just exactly what you just said there, still. Don't go, Pat. Where's Pat gone? Who's Pat, Reese? Pat Mahone. Where is he gone? Yeah, man. Sorry.
Oh, Revo. Go back to Revo. Revo, thank you so much. We missed saying thank you for the donation you made the other night. I think it was on the Monday night. So really grateful, mate. Thank you for that. And my apologies for not seeing the comment on that day.
Let me just see here where we are. Jay Woods, if PAI gives us 100 million to spend, I'll be happy. Thoughts on that?
Well, the owners gave Pellegrini 100 million to spend, and look what happened there.
Yeah.
If they spend 100 million every year, sure.
So Jay Woods, is that the kind of telling thing for you? Is that what would make you not fall for the deal, but sign up for this new investor, this new consortium to come in and take over West Ham? Is the fact if they came in and gave the board £100 million? Because I understand, like, we've not signed anyone, and then suddenly you're looking over at Man City, whole new ball game. Grealish, 100 million quid. Aston Villa immediately start investing that money and bringing in players. I get it. But is that enough for you to want to leave this current set of ownership to move into this ownership especially the way that it's been conducted. That's my biggest concern. The way it's been conducted through social media is definitely something to be off-putting. Richard Walton, to be fair, JSB, they wanted to buy the Olympic Stadium and had to reluctantly rent
I didn't know
it.
that, so I'm going to check on that. Thank you for that, Richard. I wasn't aware of that.
Yep. Let me just see here where we are. Sorry. So many things here. Dan Fandangols, I can't help but feel like this PAI thing is a bit of a coincidence. Why would JSB spend money if they could potentially be selling? It's the perfect excuse to keep the money in the pocket. I mean, you can't help but feel like there's an element of truth to that. Like it comes up to transfer season. You always start to hear about the rumors of a potential takeover, and unless we're just gullible fans, mate, and fickle like we all know we are, and we put two and two together and come out with 100 and don't get the right answer, and maybe everything's going to be rosy and we're never going to sell, or we are selling, but it's not going to be to these guys.
You know what will stop all this nonsense is for us to sign another bloody player.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden things will go a bit quiet. And when you know, and if we do sign a player, it would be just people are just calm down, because as it stands, you know, it's fueling the fire. We haven't signed another player, and everyone's complaining that we've been left behind, etc., etc. You know, and of course it's going to fan the flames for this, you know, for this takeover bid. If we go out and get, Scott, we've heard the same. If we go out and get Milenkovic or something like that, you know, and try and do that as soon as possible, then it would just shut people up a little bit, you know. But go on.
Not in an offensive way, shut people up, but just calm people down a bit.
I don't mean it in that way. I'll
remove Still from being nasty, and I'll bring up the niceness in him. Don't worry. Howard Hales is saying it's a proper deal. Danny Stevens, none of this deal benefits West Ham. They're clutching at straws by getting Rio involved. Andrew Monk is developing the area around will generate profits, which will be pumped into the club.
You know, if that was true, you know, this is what we're asking for, Andrew. We're asking for the detail now. You know, if they're really that serious, then they should be open and honest to say, this is our plan for regenerating that whole area. This is what we're going to do with it. And this is the percentage of money. But regenerating that area could take 5 years. That it could take 3, 4, 5 years to develop the area around it. So they're going to say to us, we can't pump money in until we start making money out. And then you don't even know if you're actually going to make money out of the area. The idea, the concept is right, but it could take 3, 4, 5 years to develop that area. What happens between now and then?
Yep. Listen, before we carry on, there's over 230 people watching live. Let's go for a 200 like target. We're at 55 just now. If you are watching, please go down below, hit the thumbs up. It's just a little cheeky thumbs up right down there. All you need to do is click that. Let's get us up to 200 as quickly as we possibly can. It does help our channel. It pushes our channel out into the algorithm and lets everyone know that we're here talking all about the club we love, West Ham. Of course, if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button as well. It does obviously help the channel grow if you hit that subscribe button. Then you get notified when we do shows. So please keep on doing it. Let's have a look here. People are talking about Anton, all the facilities from the Sydney Olympics are still heavily used, and the main stadium is a suburb on its own. See, I mean, you see it all around the world still. You see it constantly. I think there's like I remember watching a program once, and they did go around a lot of the Olympic stadiums around the world, and there was I can't remember, there was one that wasn't used as the legacy. Actually, is it not the stadiums in like Greece and
there are a couple of Olympic stadiums that are Olympic villages.
Yeah,
that have been, some of them ended up being used for rehousing people. You know, turned into flats and stuff. And there are a few around the world that have just been left to rot. You know, an absolute waste of money. And the Olympic Stadium as it stands, or that area, the Olympic Park, it's a bit of a halfway house. There is absolutely massive potential. There's absolutely no denying that. There is an awful lot of potential. And I can see why PAI are interested in it, because they could regenerate it and make a hell of a lot of money out of it. Yeah.
Well, other news today is about, Messi's not signing his contract for Barcelona. Kane's not turned up to Tottenham training. I mean, maybe Tom's right. Maybe we are going to sign Messi, and maybe it's going to be part of PAI's plan to bring in Harry Kane and Messi to West Ham. Is there? Could you?
You'll see Messi at the weekend in a West Ham shirt going, I really love PAI, and I've been a West Ham fan since the age of 3. you know, and I can't wait to pay for my boyhood club.
Three.
2 then. When I was born.
I have stopped looking at all our so-called targets and won't until hopefully new players will officially be announced. And Steve, let me just kind of drop onto that. If we ever talk about targets, we do really try and stress the fact that we don't claim to be ITKs, but what we want to do is tell you what the potential link will bring to the club, and if he is, and then we start to dissect the link and think, well, is it a realistic link? Is it a Moyes target? Or is it something like that? And then we'll try and rate the kind of link. So, you know, bear with us when we talk about transfers in particular, but I mean, we think that Milinkovic is going to be an option, and who knows?
Juve are after him, and now we're looking at
then Leicester.
And Leicester. And we'll get players in. Gary Cahill's on his way, apparently.
Yeah, we'll just have a laugh at that one. I don't believe anything until the players are announced. WHU 58, the Olympic Park doesn't have a unique selling point to attract tourists or locals. I think I mentioned that one before, but it's true, it doesn't. PAI are doing to, you know, actually on that one, it is so true. I remember, you know, even taking my dad down to the stadium when you met him still for the first time, and he just didn't get the vibe. There was nothing that made him feel like, coming away from the West Ham thing for a second, the walk to the stadium, he was just a bit like,
there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Yeah.
But he was just like, it was the first time he was down there, and he's a Londoner, and he was just a bit like, where's the Olympic legacy? Where's all that sort of stuff? You would never really.
West Ham, is it? It's not.
No, but you would never know. I'm just saying, it doesn't. There was a trick missed. That's the point I'm trying to make. There was always a trick missed, because there's such a gap between Westfield and the stadium, and people may look at that gap and go, I just can't be arsed walking down there because I'm going to look at tarpaulin signs that say West Ham. But do you know what? Maybe they're attracted to the biggest or second biggest digital screen in Europe. So maybe they're up for that. Vinay, PAI are doing to GSB what GSB do when trying to buy players, which is make a low bid below the asking price. Yeah, absolutely.
Dave, that's a good point, mate. You're absolutely right. The one below, 20% of anything over 200 million. He's right. So when I said, you know, they'll be looking for getting 600 million back, and then paying their tax bill on top, Dave's absolutely right. It's 200 million. Anything over 200 million that they got to pay the 20% tax on.
Yep. Gary Rutter, haven't been practicing my tackles. However, I will be meeting Stell in 10 days' time for the first time in nearly 2 years, and I will tackle him to the ground.
See, I'm a bit worried about
that. All I'll do is this. All I'll do is this. Look, boop, and he'll be gone.
It sounds so wrong, and you keep admitting it in public, which is a real worry. But there you go.
It's not a worry. I'm fine.
It is for me.
You're a worry.
Well, I'm going to hide my thighs. Let's put it that way.
Done that. You don't have any thighs, mate. You're tiny.
Yeah, agreed, Tommy. It is, you know, and this is the concern I've got. They're going to be using investors' money to do all this, you know, and if it goes tits up, well, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just see. There's just so many random comments.
Do you want me to do it, mate?
No. I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because there's, like, honestly, I if I bring them up here, you go, yo, Gaza J, all just buzzwords in a statement. You know, better off having Frank Skinner. I'm just trying to make it kind of topical as well. PAI will probably wait for a couple of years when GSB don't have to pay 40% tax. 20% tax, I believe it is, Jordan.
Tax,
yeah.
Well, they might well sell in 2 years' time. They may well sell in 2 years' time. Yeah.
He's going to watch Mr. Bean's train ride. Hammerwell, Rio will sell Rice. Convince the fans it was the best interest and the money was needed for the team. We are reading the comments, Liam. Don't you worry. Words and pictures. I don't think I've seen you for a while. Words and pictures. Have you seen him for a while still?
No. I hope you're well, mate.
Yeah, I hope you're well. If PAI get the lease, then we know. Freshfielder, to me, the LLDC statement reads GSB can do the same as PAI.
Yeah, it absolutely does wish. Mean that. Yeah, it does mean that.
Absolutely. Freshfielder, did you get our email? I think we got your little Facebook message. It was just to see if you did get that. Robert Singleton say probably offered for rental amount. Danny's agreeing with, I think it was Howard up below. It's a property deal. words and pictures of PAI getting released, then we no longer have a stadium. Hammerwell, this is land grabbing and nothing to do with the club. Loads of people kind of agreeing. I mean, it's jumped. It's absolutely jumped.
Here we go. I'll carry on there.
Yeah.
PA looking to buy control of the stadium and land around it in the same way City have at the Etihad. City don't actually own it, so it's about control.
So Tommy, I didn't know that though. I didn't know that City don't own that. But I tell you what, though, still, it is as if they own it. If they don't own that, then it is completely as if they do, because it is impressive. It's completely out the way of Manchester. I mean, it's in Manchester, but it's completely out the way. And it is like a full blown. If you're a kid walking up to that stadium, the whole facilities in and around it, the club shop, the way it's built in, the way that there's entertainment on, and it's all permanent fixtures. It's not semi-permanent. There's none. It's not.
But the owners of Man City have got a hell of a lot of money in their own back pockets to have done that. That's the big difference. Rather than using, it was what you said earlier, Tommy. Rather than using investors' money, they had their own money to do all that.
Get the lease for the whole area, then buy, then knock down for flats, and leave us playing in the league in Rush Green. For Sheezy PI, I want to seize the land in Olympic Park. West Ham are just an afterthought, in my opinion. Hostile takeover. I mean, I'm starting to see a lot more people kind of being against about the PAI than I've ever saw. This is me basing my opinion, though, still on social media.
If they come up with the details, if they come up with the actual details, as to what they're planning to do, I think a lot of people will start going, right, now we're going to take you seriously. But as it stands, it feels like a bit of a shit show, in all honesty.
Jordan, how's them renting the stadium going to make them money? Yeah. Sign Messi and we'll forgive them. Joan, I think they want to build flats on the land. Liam, have you seen we've apparently bid for Milinkovic, 20 million. Florentino have agreed. We'll probably talk about that
I hope
tomorrow.
That's true. Yeah, we will.
Yeah. WHU, nothing to do with PAI, but have you guys seen the recent updates? Yes, we have. Cal Nor seems like the club is an afterthought. The stadium is a goal. So many comments still. It's mad. Good point, Fresh.
Well, I deal with them on Monday nights quite easily, mate. But you seem to get all kind of flustered.
I don't get flustered, right? I'll explain to you why. I'll explain to you why. We set out.
Carry on.
No. We set out for a day. I'll tell everyone who's watching right now. The idea for the daily was to try and do 15-minute shows.
Yeah.
And after day 2, they never ever existed, and it's now taking over our life so much. I said to Stell when we were coming on tonight, I'm going to be strict, and I am going to be strict. We have to be, because we've got
3 minutes already.
Yeah, but we've got about 2 or 3 probably shows tomorrow, because there's going to be relevant shows as well. We've got a preview coming, we've got a late show coming, and
then we got something really fantastic coming up, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How could we? Let's go. Come on, let's see what we are about the stadium. For me, Ronda and Tony Fo may be correct. They'll grab the land and sell West Ham to anyone who can give them what they spent. Yeah, maybe it's a way to get in and get the land. We need our ground. Yeah.
Can't buy the stadium. We're vulnerable. We are. We'd be sitting ducks, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I think we are all fed up with these broken promises. Whoever's in charge, that's Steve. The ones who suffer is the fans, such a crying shame. And it is, and it's like it's currently getting played out in the media again. And any non-West Ham fan is just looking at West Ham right now and going, "Oh, here we go again." We jokingly have always said, still, like, welcome to the circus, but people who don't have any interest in West Ham are starting to agree that this is a circus, because we're playing all our laundry's getting
mate
put out.
And you know what, I'm old enough and you're old enough to remember previous owners.
I'm not.
Well, you are. And it's really funny. I don't think we've really had great owners. I don't think we've ever had great owners.
But I made the point last night, though, still, who has, apart from Leicester, but who has? Like, I can't, like, Leicester have just struck it lucky. But I can't think of, like, look at Newcastle's situation, look at Sunderland's situation, look at Man United's situation, look at Liverpool's situation, Man
this
City.
Sounds like a Man United type situation where they will mortgage the club to buy it. So they'll put a burden on the club's finances by actually borrowing more money in order for them to buy it. But anyway.
Yeah. Yep. Fresh fielder clicking on an Irons United notification is like reaching into a lucky dip. Beijing's Bird Nest Stadium has been left there. Has it, Dan? I thought the complete opposite, because I thought they did the World Championships there recently, and I thought
there are stadiums. There's like
no,
Tommy has
there
said
are
here,
definitely, yeah.
stadiums built in Brazil are white elephants, and it has happened. You might be right about Greece. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it has happened.
Just
around
before we move on, we're at 98 thumbs up. We're pushing for 200. We need, we need to get 200. So we're at 98. So if you're watching right now, there's a little thumb down there that you can click. If you see a thumb that does this and a thumb that does that, click this one, not this one, because this is the one that pushes ourselves into the algorithm. You just have to touch it. Just touch it like that. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Have
you heard, by the way, the end of that statement was they're going to rebrand the club, by the way.
What to? PAI West Ham or
West PAI United.
West PAI United.
Yeah.
It's like
change the logo. They're going to change the. They're going to change the badge. They're going to
put a pie on it. Put Bosch.
Little pie there. Yeah.
Sorry, Tom. If you know Tom, I know Tom, the guy who's got Tom Skinner. He's got Bosch beds. He's been on The Apprentice, and do you know what? Still, I'm not going to sit there and blame him. I don't like how people are kind of going at him as such. He is. It doesn't matter what people can say about people's backgrounds and stuff like that. If he's been approached and he's doing what he's doing for the reason, he just looks excited and yeah.
It's good advertising for him.
Yeah,
great advertising for him.
If PAI can't get a deal for the stadium, why can't GSB? Because they don't want to. That's why. Absolutely. He will say he's been a West Ham fan since 1986. He'll say West Ham Football Club, not West Ham United. I take it you mean. Gosh, Stelios, I'm going to go to bed and slip my wrist. Please don't. Please don't.
Mate, I'm not fussed by all this. I think it's all. I'm bored of it. I'm not depressed by it. I am fatigued. When Anton said we need to go on and do a show about this, and I went, can we talk about anything but PAI? And it's like, well, unfortunately not, because it is the hot topic of the moment. I'm bored by it. Let me just reiterate. I didn't ask Stel to come on. Stel begged me to do a show tonight, and that's just typical of it. Dan, anyway, my issue with the transfer window is the time it's taken to get anything done with the main targets. I tried to remain calm, but my God, it's a bloody annoyance. Calm down, mate. We'll have a beer. Are you going on Saturday, Dan, for the Atalanta game? If so, I'll buy you a beer and
no, you won't. Dan knows that. If Dan is watching, but if Dan is watching right now,
but
he will comment. He will comment, and he will say that you won't buy him a beer.
I'll buy him one. I won't buy you.
I'll tell you why though, mate. I'll tell you why. You won't turn up on time, and you just will not put your hand in your pocket. That's what we expect with Stel.
Yeah, well, as Dan will confirm.
I'll just get rid of him for there. Let's move on to the comments.
Well, a test. I do buy him beers, but I won't buy you one. Gary Cahill, we might get Tim Cahill. Good point.
Only two clubs not to spend on players this summer is West Ham and Newcastle. Noticing a trend.
It's more than other clubs have not spent either.
Well, I don't know. Is there now? Actually, is there still?
Yeah. I'm going to look.
I'll let you do the comments. I'm going to go and find that right now.
You do that. What do we got? Linda, what's a worry is the way you get out of the ground. Easy solution for that, Linda. Don't go back to the Stratford station. Go to Hackney Wick round the other side. There's no stop-start signs there, and it's a lot easier to get home from. Scott.
Yeah, but now you're advertising that, and now everyone will do it.
No, they won't though, because they still don't. 5 years on, they won't.
Sorry, just to add, I'm going to add another club to that. Brighton haven't signed anyone.
There you go. But have Liverpool signed anyone?
Just doing it now. Oh no, Brighton have. Sorry, Brighton have.
Have Chelsea signed anyone?
Brighton have.
There's a lot of clubs that haven't signed people, so don't worry about it. We're fine. We're fine. We'll get enough players in. LCY, they've made it like they own it and made it feel like home, unlike us. Would that be Man City, mate? Yep. You're right there. Mitchell. It's a legacy of the Commonwealth Games or something, isn't it? Yep. It's a legacy of the Commonwealth Games, so it'd be interesting to see how they wanna or the Olympic Games. Jordan, why GSB not buying any players yet? We haven't bought Areola yet. Do you think PAI is the reason behind it? No, I just think it's David Moyes taking his time.
Liverpool have.
Have they? Okay.
Man City have.
Okay.
Man United have.
Okay.
Newcastle
Anyway.
haven't. Sorry.
PAI are looking to buy the land to sell it on in 3 or 4 years' time down the line to make the profit in return for their investor. Good point. Might be exactly what they might be doing. Dan, agree with Stel on the need for more details. It's very vague at the moment and feels like West Ham are an afterthought for getting control of the property. A lot of people think the same thing.
Still, you owe an apology to that comment from, I don't know who it was earlier on, who said West Ham and Newcastle are the only 2 clubs that haven't signed players, because he is correct.
Is he? Well, we'll be fine. Well, we have signed someone. We've actually signed 2 senior players. We've signed 2 senior players.
Okay.
Craig Dawson and Areola.
Yep.
I mean, strictly speaking, we have. People won't be happy about it, but strictly speaking, we have. Scott, the fans are upset with a group that want to buy from GSB. Shows how fragile we are. They actually want to make us a big club. We'll never get that with GSB. All their money is tied up in property. But the irony is, mate, all this lot's money is going to be tied up in investments, you know, and they're going to have to make money out of it somehow. So out the fire into the frying pan, as people say. Who knows?
Let me just put this up here. Dan's not at the Atalanta game, but he'll keep you for it for the Leicester game. So he knows you've now publicly said it.
The offer was only for the Atalanta game, so sorry about that, mate.
Just because he knew you weren't going, Dan.
No,
Quattro, still, what a good spot to stay. That's near the stadium. I might be able to head up for a game if my schedule works out.
Nice one. Are you coming over? You're based over in America, aren't you? Quattro? I thought you were. You keep telling us how good the bloody weather is.
I was telling Newcastle supposedly about to splash out in Joe Willock.
Good signing.
Do you know what? Actually, let maybe come off PAI for a second, very briefly, right? And maybe to end the show on this one. Did you see that West Ham held behind the door? Behind the, obviously, you know, it was 11 versus 11 from the West Ham squad. Did you see that?
I heard about it. Yeah.
Benrahma got a hat trick, and I think some Algerian thing. Someone had taken clips of the game, and I've seen the 3 goals, and they were very, very good goals. And I seen a little couple of clips of the game that looked like quite a high tempo. Yeah, it's a little bit of banter, and they were obviously getting their fitness up and giving players like Rice and Soucek and Soufal and Yarmolenko some game time, etc. But this is we've seen the admin team have been pushing Benrahma in training. He's been doing rainbow flicks. He's been getting the ball. He's looking confident. Is this his season still?
He's on his way back to Brentford then.
Is this his one? Is this the one?
Is what the one?
Is this his season? Just in time for James Fever. Just in time, mate. Here he is from Windsor. James Fever from Windsor. Actually, no, I think he's where is he? Hold on a minute. I'll find somewhere. I'll give me a minute, James. I'll tell you where you're from in a minute, mate. Are you going through the comments still?
Yeah, Alex Gonzalez, unpopular opinion. Even though Messi is the GOAT, I still think we'd go for a long-term option in Haaland. What? You Chelsea fan, I'm guessing, mate, or you Man United fan? I don't know, because we're not going for either Haaland or Messi. Tom Skinner was on a Days Banter YouTube channel earlier and doesn't know any details. He seems like a fan who's done some deals for beds with PAI, who just gets excited. Was he on earlier? Was he? He's not coming on this fucking channel. I'll tell you that for nothing. I'm telling you now. He ain't coming on this channel.
Did you listen? I've just chucked Stell off the stream here for a second. Do you see the way Stell was speaking to me? That's actually very disrespectful.
Yeah,
that's very disrespectful.
Not disrespectful at all. I'm telling you now.
Actually, it's too late. Actually, while you're at it, everyone, please welcome
Archie. Would you take back Dimitri Payet? No, and have him fire?
Yes.
Fire midfield? No. Too late.
Of course, I know it's too late. I'm winding you up. Of course, I bloody wouldn't.
James Hibstock, new here, long time iron, Brisbane, just won 2032 Olympics from the stadium we already have. Welcome, mate. Thank you for joining us. We've got quite a few people from Down Under who watch the shows, so welcome to you. Lyston, what's your all-time favourite West Ham moment you've seen live? Anton? You're a new fan, so you're thinking about it, aren't you?
Best moment I've seen live. I mean, the last game at Upton Park's going to be
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say
emotions,
the same. I
the
was gonna say
emotions, the
the same.
goal, the Winston Reid goal, like the emotions, the
Yeah,
emotions for everything in that day. Yeah, could be that.
Nicholas, PAI funded by Nabil Pirayev, who owns PNN Group, one of the biggest oil and gas refinery companies out there, and the richest family in Azerbaijan. So the question again is he using his money or is he using investor money? Because he's coming in wanting to buy the club under PAI Capital, who are a company that have only been around for a couple of years. So it suggests to me he's not using his private money. It suggests to me that he's using PAI Capital investment money. Am I wrong there? Tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
All right, thank you.
Just because I wanted to say you're wrong.
Epic. Let's sign a geezer who plays on the left wing and let Ben Rama play number 10. We don't need Lingard and Pereira. I totally agree. But, is James in? Ben Rama is a bit average, isn't he, really? You know, I'm not sure he's Premier League ready, to be quite honest.
Do you know what? Loads of people are putting so many memorable moments as West Ham fans. It's a tough question because there are, like, I think, James, you put in Ipswich semi-final 2003. Absolutely. Di Canio volley. Absolutely. You can keep going back and back and back. And depending on the era you're involved in, you know, the playoff final, Vazte. You can go even further back.
Alex. I didn't mean to insult you. Yeah, go on, Vazte. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Listen, anyway, still, I did say I would be strict with you tonight. I did say I'd be strict with you tonight because we've got a lot of shows coming up over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to call it a day. How many likes have we got? Have we done 100?
We've got. Let me just I'll give everyone a rundown of what's happening. Give me 2 seconds. Let me see the thumbs up. We're at 118 thumbs up.
That'll
do. Yeah, so listen, update for everyone that's coming. Thank you for watching. Of course, if you are around, please get those thumbs up.
Yeah.
It really does help the channel.
There's 228 watching. Let's get at least another. Let's get to 150. So quickly, go and hit that like button.
Yeah,
go on.
Absolutely. If you do that, it really does help the channel. Go and subscribe to the channel as well. Tomorrow, we will be doing a preview for the Atalanta game. So make sure you join us. 9 times out of 10, that's probably going to be about 8:30.
Seeing the Atalanta fan you try to get.
Yeah.
If only your missus knew, you dirty sod.
Talking about?
You know, what are you looking at going red? She's very attractive, Italian Atalanta girl.
So we don't know what's happening with the opposition fan. We're going to try the opposition fan, but we'll see. So anyway, join us tomorrow for the preview. That will be 8:30-ish. Then I think me and Stella are going on and doing a late show tomorrow night. And depending on what news kicks about tomorrow morning, we will maybe
signing coming in tomorrow.
I don't know if we've got a signing coming in tomorrow, but
yeah, I think we have. Or he will be unveiled at the Atalanta game.
Yeah. Also, though, we are looking for another moderator for the channel. Is that right?
No, we got one. Don't worry. I've got someone in mind. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So all done.
Cool. And then more exciting news to come next week.
Yes.
Some cheeky teasers coming up soon.
Yeah. I mean, it is exciting. I won't lie. I have to be honest. I am very, very excited as to what's coming up, and what will be coming up will be happening before the new season starts.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know more about it very, very soon.
Cool. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're new around here, like I said, go and subscribe, and please go and click the thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Don't know what he's been. I've been Anton. This is West Ham United. Come on, you Irons!